How's it going, Brad? I had a question about Cam. I'm sure you know him pretty well. I haven't been here this long, but got a couple of penalties called on him Saturday, maybe kind of ticky-tack. How does he handle that, during the game, immediately after the game? What kind of emotions do you see when he gets called for a penalty?
Yeah, well, Cam Smith, as you can tell on the field, like he puts everything out there. He plays balls to the wall, and he's a very competitive guy. So, of course, calls like that, like he's gonna get frustrated, and you can see that on the field, But that's any competitor, who gets a call like that, who you feel like might be a little ticky tack, could be either way. But he lets his emotions show at first, and then riles it in, gets it back together, and next play mentality. That's what you have to have. So.
Brad, Jordan Burch was just in here talking about Missouri's offense and how they like to shift and maybe change some eyes a little bit. As a guy who plays in the middle of this defense, what are some of the keys to defending that, and how much of that normally is just window dressing and just trying to make a defense get out of a gap or two?
Right. Well, I feel like majority of it is what you just said, window dressing and trying to get people out of gaps and get guys' eyes in the wrong places and stuff like that. So just preparation for that is just watching film, knowing where you're supposed to be, knowing who's handling those motions, and knowing when you have to, be accountable of those motions as well. So I just feel like film and communication as a defense, we're all wrong, we're all right mentality, So if we're talking and communicating and everybody's on the same page, then we're going to get it all handled. So that's one of the things that we're just focusing this week is just on communication, making sure we're all on the same page and everybody knows their responsibility.
It being homecoming week, you're a 6-year guy from Pendleton. Just what does it mean to be able to suit up for this state, and kind of what does homecoming and represent the area kind of mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot, most definitely, homecoming. I consider this my home, even though I'm from the upstate, like you said. I've adopted the Midlands as my home, my second home. I have family that are from this area, the Orangeburg, Columbia area. So I've been up here, as a young kid. And just this, with it being two more home games, you gotta take advantage of it. Like you don't get this crowd everywhere. You don't have that atmosphere everywhere. So I'm just trying to soak it all in these last few and just go all out, and give it my all.
Brad, given the ups and downs that you've had here in your stay, what is this winning streak, being in the top 25? What does it mean for you right now?
Well, yeah, I was joking with Demo the other day when I came in, and I was like, Demo, man, I woke up this morning and we were 5-2, man, and he was just like, yeah, Brad, it's a different feeling, huh? And I was like, yeah, it is, and it just feels good, man. We already have that positive atmosphere in this building already, regardless of the fact. So just to have some, just some positivity coming along with it, with what we're actually trying to do. With winning 4 games in a row and beating teams that we haven't beaten in however many years or whatever, it's a good feeling, and it's a good momentum shift, and we want to keep that going. We're going to ride that momentum, and we're not going to change up anything or do anything different. We're going to attack every week the same that we have been doing, with even more tenacity and even more focus. But it's a good reassurance, to have that. It feels good.
Do you talk to any of your teammates about that? Do you remind them that you've been on some teams around here that have had success like this?
Yeah, and I have to remind myself too, because I'm thinking that they felt that though, but I got to remind myself like, yo, these guys just got here, so this is all they know, which is a good thing too. Like, I was talking to some of the younger guys, like the T.J. Sanders and stuff, and the Brian Thomases, and this is what they know. So this culture, this standard that we set of winning, so far this season, like they're becoming accustomed to it, So they're gonna want that. That's gonna be their standard. They're gonna shoot for that every year. So I feel like that's good for them, and that's great. But I gotta remind those guys too, like, it just don't happen. It don't come easy, like, So you gotta work for that. You gotta put in the work, and once you do that, things will fall into place. So.
Brad, obviously Mo and Strawn are out for the season, but I think last week was one of the first weeks you guys have had pretty much everyone healthy as far as the defense goes. I guess just what's that like to see that group actually, one, on the field together at the same time, and two, I guess just how much does that help to have your sort of full complement going forward, and how can you guys kind of parlay that now the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season, and it's a tough season playing in the SEC. But having everybody last week, it was definitely a good feeling. It was great to have all the guys out there on the field. We had all types of players taking reps, from second string guys and some guys who were third string guys. We had freshmen on the field. You got to see a mix of everything. You got to see the whole defense really out there playing a team game. And like Coach White, he brought us in on Sunday and was talking about how like this specific game wasn't really like a linebackers dominated or a defensive line game or a DB game. It was a complete and total game from the whole defense. Everybody made plays, and that's what you want to see from a defense, and that's what we're gonna try to keep going forward. So.
Hey, Brad. Speaking of Coach White, he's gotten some buzz the last couple of days about potential head coaching jobs, with the job up in Charlotte opening and things like that. I'm just curious what stands out to you about him as a defensive coordinator that could maybe prepare him for a head coaching role.
Well, Coach White, he has the potential to do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to become a head coach, he definitely can do that. I just feel like one thing that stands out to me about him, he's just a down to earth guy. Like most defensive coordinators, like you think of them as, I don't know, even coordinators in general. You might think of them as like I don't know, just kind of like not above the program, but I don't know. Coach White is a guy that like anybody feels comfortable talking to, from a guy who's taking scout reps to a guy who's playing 80 snaps a game. Like anybody feel comfortable coming alongside Coach White and just having a conversation, and it don't have to be about football, So that's one of the things I feel like really stuck out to me about his character and just type of man he is, and all football things aside, just that in general, like that speaks volumes for me. So.
Yeah, Brad, the offense has been using Christian Beal-Smith since he's starting to get back as kind of like a power back. I know you play against him or, observe him in practice and things like that. But what about his game sticks out to you, and what have you observed since he's been starting to get back a little bit healthy?
Mm-hmm. Well, Christian's the type of guy, he's a hard-nosed guy. Like, he comes to work the same way every single day. He's going to give you all he's got every play, whether he's blocking. Like, he had a tremendous play. I forgot who it was we were playing, but there was a reverse. I think he was leading for either Stogner or Jalen Brooks, and he was coming around the edge and just like clean 3 guys like back to back, just leading, blocking down the field. So like that's just the type of guy he is. Whatever his role is, he's going to do it to the best of his ability, which I have a ton of respect for, because you're not going to be getting the ball 1,000 times a game. So whatever you're doing, you just want to make sure you do it to the best of your ability, and he's the epitome of that. So. Definitely respect for that. Respect to him.
Brad, I'm guessing you saw the celebration photos the celebration at Tennessee a couple weeks ago after Alabama. Guys rushing the field. The same thing happened at LSU. Have you ever been involved in anything like that? And when you see things like that, does it look fun to you? Does it look scary? Or I guess it depends on what side of that game you're on.
I was about to say, yeah, absolutely. It depends on what side you're on. But I mean, everybody wants that type of win. They had a huge win over there at Rocky Top. So I couldn't really even imagine it. Imagine that atmosphere that they had, because it was amazing. But just to watch on television. But yeah, every competitor wants that type of game, that atmosphere to come to life. But I mean, I'm completely content with the atmosphere that we have at Willie B every Saturday when we play at home. Like, the crowd's crazy, the atmosphere that we play in is ridiculous, and we're able as players to feed off of that and to go make plays. So that in itself is a blessing to be able to go and play in that atmosphere. But yeah, we all want that, the storm in the field and goalposts toppling and all that stuff. We definitely want that environment, and we want that to happen in that situation. And I guess you just have to wait till it comes.
Brad, I hope I'm not jinxing anything, but this defense is holding opponents to 9 of 37 on third down over their last 3 games. How much improved is this defense on third downs this year, and especially over this last, 4-game win streak?
I'll say we are very much improved on third down. Coach White made that a focal point for us, like going into the offseason last year, because there was just a lot of times where we get the third down, should have been off the field, and we allowed teams to stay on. And that in turn took away time from our offense for them to get back on the field. And that's the number one job as a defense, is to put your offense back on the field. So we weren't doing that enough, and I feel like us making that a focal point in the offseason, we've been able to tune in on a couple of things, fine-tune some things, and we went in with that being a focal point this season, and as you can see, it's starting to pay off, and we want to keep that trend going, most definitely, because that's how you win games, is you win third down. So.
Hey, Brad, kind of a two-parter here. How do you guys, in the midst of everyone talking about you guys being ranked, in the midst of a 4-game win streak, how do you guys stay dialed in, stay focused, stay all business? And then is there also kind of a feeling in the locker room that you get this next game done this weekend, you clinch another bowl game? So how do you just stay focused between all this stuff going on?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I don't think it's really hard for us as a team, to be honest, because, coming into the season, I don't want to say we were expecting, some notoriety, but we expected at least, some type of respect, I felt like. And I felt like at the beginning of the season, us as a team, we really felt like we didn't receive any respect, We were favored to lose every single game. And, I don't know, our players that are real playmakers weren't getting any love or respect, outside like some of the other teams were. So, now that we've started to go on this little streak and get some positivity and people starting to speak positive things about us, now we're starting to get pats on the back and stuff like that from, outside noise. But the same way where we had blinders on and we were trying to stay focused on what we had to do in order to receive that, I guess, positivity and to be looked at in that light is the same way we're doing now, is just, blinders on, and we're blocking out that same positivity, because really our focus has been, Coach Beamer has been emphasizing just resisting comfort. So really that's what we're trying to do, resist all comfort, and anything that's trying to make you comfortable in this week before we go into and go in on Saturday and play, you want to stay away from it. You want to stay away from those pats on the back and, all the love that you're getting from the outside noise from people who probably would be showing, some negativity to you if we would have lost those, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to stay in and stay grounded with the people that you're working with, grounded with every single day, and move on to the next one. Every week is a new season, and that's how we're looking at that. Just resisting comfort. So.
Hey, Brad, we kind of talked about it earlier, but this defense has really gotten some pieces back in the last couple weeks, and particularly Cam Smith and Darius Rush. What's it like playing in front of those two guys?
Yeah, those guys are dogs, man. They're masters at their craft, and they perfect it every single day. They work at it every single day, and we have confidence in those guys the same way they have confidence in us filling those gaps and fitting those runs. So, just to be able to have those guys back there, we have faith in them so that we can have even more confidence to go fit those runs and play downhill and to truly stop the run. One of our focal points in winning and our plans to win in the games, stopping the run. So us as linebackers feel good having those guys out on the side, man, because we know it don't matter if we got Rush or Cam out there on the island, they're good. We're not worried about that and looking over our shoulder, you know what I'm saying? And that brings peace of mind for us so we can go play fast.
Thank you, Brad.
Yes, sir.